Sorry, I had my thing muted. Cool. No, I was just saying, so one of the big problems that I had was I had just brought a new switch online. No mic audio, Chris. Can you still not hear? You should be able to hear me now. Audio is good now. Okay, great. So yeah, so brought a new switch online, and ever since then my computer's been having problems. So the problem has been like intermittent disconnection. So it'll just randomly drop. So it could happen again. I don't know. But I did just go and move my connection back to the old switch, which had been working fine for a while. So I will see if it works. Okay, so anyway, let's take a look at this. It says nested Aurae D inherit config through command args. In order for relative path and options to work, we also remove the current dir from the forked client. Let's see. Some ePrint lines. Well, when stream dropped, it was the middle of a pre-rolled ad for me. Okay, well, hopefully it works well now. Okay, cool. It basically says, so this one needs guidance. So because the daemon should not have access to the client key, okay, it should not be able to reuse the client auth to communicate with the nested Aurae D. Very true. Here we disable TLS for proto messages between the daemon and the cell. Oh, this is a good one. I see. This is a great conversation. Let's write this up. Thank you for bringing this up. I see two options forward. So really the two options I see are number one, disable TLS and have one-to-one with connections, or two, generate and encrypt the generate new TLS material and my first thought on one is that it is potentially a security hole for the project, but it's probably a perfectly reasonable place to start. I don't know. Do y'all understand the problem? Do y'all have opinions on this? Hi. Timora. My first thought is that one is a potentially a security hole for the project, but it's perfectly reasonable place to start. In fact, I think I'll just make a decision. We'll say unencrypted between the host daemon and the nested cell, and we can make sort of layer 3, which layer 3 is TCP, some sort of layer 3. Did you mean encrypted or unencrypted? Says Future Highway. TCP is layer 4, IP is layer 3. Thanks, Malte. Also, good morning, Malte. Ethernet. I always forget about Ethernet. Let's see. Hi, Nova. Malte, it's good to see you. I can see Malte. It's probably a nice sunny day in Germany, and he's probably like, hi, Nova. Malte fucking loves me. So let's see. Sunny but windy, there you go. And unencrypted. Thank you. Unsure at the moment. And thank you for the follow, everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Nova Show. If you're new here, feel free to introduce yourself. We're a bunch of cool people, and we only have a few minutes left before I gotta bounce, unfortunately. I think my decision on the topic is just that, to start with an open and unencrypted connection between the host daemon and the nested cell, and we can make improvements on the connection in future PRs. If you have an opinion or suggestion on if we should generate TLS client material, cool. Cool. How's that for decision making? It's pretty much like I made a decision, but also if you don't like it, let me know. What do y'all think? I think that was great. Perfect, says Future Highway. Thanks for calling that out, Future Highway. Cool. Cool. So I do want to try to get back into Aura more. So we have, I know this doesn't seem like I'm doing very much on the project right now. I'm trying to get us some more contributors who can dedicate a little more time to it. So there's some people I have in mind who have a lot of experience with Rust and the KVM specifically, and they have opinions on a hypervisor for us to just use, an opinionated hypervisor built on the Rust KVM library. And I think that the more I think about it, the more I want both the hypervisor detail to be something that the project concerns ourselves with and has a decision on. We should compile it in, but I don't want us to like be responsible for maintaining it. Does that make sense? Like, I just want to find a good library and just use a good library. And maybe we need to go write the library and we also maintain that, but like we should definitely keep these concerns somewhat separated as far as maintenance is concerned. But yeah, I like, does that make sense? I don't want to repeat the same mistakes of Kubernetes where they're just like, it's out of scope. Go fucking start another system D unit and let's hope for the best. Like I still wanted us to like make sure that the thing works and take accountability for it and compile it into our binary and make it like a thing that we hold true and dear. But I don't want to be in the business of like supporting device drivers for the KVM. Does that make sense? Does Firecracker not work for that? So one of the things with Firecracker is the how do we go and how do we communicate with it? Yep, agreed. Anything that we need should we specifically upstream the Rust VMM project like the other VMs are doing. Yeah, exactly. And I think Firecracker would work. I'm not opposed to using Firecracker, to be completely honest. I do think though that there is potentially other options to consider, and I think that there is a concern about the shared memory between the host device and the Firecracker device. There was a write-up on this recently. Did y'all see this? Unsure if y'all saw this. One second, I'll pull it up. So this is how the KVM worked. And this dev KVM kernel module here had shared memory between the host and the guest. And they talk about like how the jailer set up another barrier and so forth. And they talk about the virtio vsock, which is basically, this isn't, so AF Unix is that's in sockets.h, which we were looking at the other day. Address family Unix, and there's a Unix domain socket that sort of exists between all of these. And this is how Firecracker did what we're talking about doing over the network, right? So we're talking about basically bridging our virtualization layer over the network using is it a tap or a ton device? I think it's a tap device. I think tap is layer 2 and ton is layer 3, but after the shit Malte said this morning, I have no idea what's true anymore. I have no idea where TCP starts and where IP stops. Okay, I don't even know. So whichever one does not have the IP information, that only carries the Ethernet frame, that device is the device I'm talking about. I don't know if that's tap or ton. I think it's tap, but somebody should we look it up? Let's go look it up. Let's go look it up. Tap is layer 2 and ton is layer 3. Yeah, tap. I think it's tap. I think so. Tap and ton devices. We want the one that carries the Ethernet frame. Firecracker originally didn't have support for vSOCs. In the beginning, you just add an Ethernet device, tap device. This is what I'm saying. I think this is very like a good conversation to have, because it brings us back to this, which was basically vSOC was added later on by request of the community. Malte, do you have an opinion on vSOC? I'm curious. If we can go with encryption over a tap device, yes, Malte's opinion. Wait, sorry. Malte, can I put on my best German accent? Just like, yeah, I can't do a German accent, but like, yeah, don't use vSOC. I don't know, after meeting Malte in Belgium, I can see his just like, don't fucking use it. And it makes me very happy. 9. Germany is the best country. Okay. So it says, here we go. This is the diagram we want. So basically we have ton carries IP packets, tap carries Ethernet frames, data link layer. So we want to carry Ethernet frames to the guest, which that can also be a potential vulnerability if we could potentially consume network traffic that's not destined for us. So maybe in the future we would want to move up to ton and actually only pass IP packets. But again, like implementation detail, it feels better than VSOC. I'd use a tap device and use IPv6 to local addresses to connect the nested ORD. I feel like I can always count on Multi for IPv6. I feel like every project needs like 2 or 3 people. Like every good project needs like a mage, a tank, and a healer. Like you need someone who has gray hair, you need someone who has a bunch of money, and you need someone who knows how to write CSS, and you need someone who only talks about IPv6. If you don't have all 4 of those things, you'll never have a balanced party. You can never go raid a dungeon. On the host, you have a tap device. On the guest, you have a Vert.io net device. Okay, I mean, I'm sold, right? Like, I don't think I need to be convinced on this. Gray hair who rang says Epic Ninja Elephant. Okay. Cool. Well, we can make a let's make a decision on that really quick for the project. I'll just do something. I can just write issues. I feel like it's tap devices. So we'll say connection between given our recursive nature of hosting nested ORD instances in virtual guests, nested cells, and container isolation zones, we need to start understanding the connection detail between the host and the guest. So this issue suggests we use the following strategy. So Multi says, sorry, I need to go have a meeting. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. I don't think you can use a ton device to connect to a micro VM. There's the Vert tap and then there's VSOC. Cool. So we're going to write this up. Tap devices on the host to consume Ethernet frames. And then we'll say Vert.io sock on the guest to route to. By default, we use IPv6. Our IP structure. We'll just say by default we use IPv6 between the host and the guest, regardless of what the host is using. And we will also say we take a strong opinion against VSOC implementation and exposing shared memory or file descriptor access, even if second degree, say even if 2 or more. You know, I'll just say there we go, that's fine. We'll say there you go. See a Multi. Okay, I'm also out of here. So there we go. We made some process on Aura. We talked about virtualization. We talked about VSOCs and tap devices. Oh, Overgrown Carrot is raiding with a party of 20. I was literally on the way out the door, Overgrown Carrot. I have to go rock climbing. Future Highway says, have a good day. We're gonna raid Togglebit. So I love you all. I will see you all next time. Thank you for sticking around. It's been real. I'm sorry to raid and run Overgrown Carrot, but it's good to see you all. See you all soon. I love you. We'll be on Discord if you need me. We'll see you next time. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out on the Nova Show. Hopefully we can do this more, and I will see you all next time.